Outlander as a show has established itself to be one meticulously crafted and performed to perfection. The acting in the show has been commended by viewers ever since season 1. Even the plot holes in the show, rare as they may be, are either small enough to be easily disregarded or explained away. This is why it's worth mentioning that an Outlander fan spotted an epic blunder in a scene from the show's most recent ongoing season. And here's all you need to know about it. First up, where the theory emerged. To say that Outlander has a pretty big fan base would not be an understatement, especially because the fan base is incredibly cult-like and often found digging up theories and making predictions. All this to say, the fandom is involved. The show has fans from all age groups, so it's only natural that it has its own dedicated subreddit, and it was on this subreddit that the mistake was noticed. One could even kind of make out Chris Larkin smiling in the background. It may have been because he didn't realize that he was on camera at the time, which would make sense, considering there was camera equipment beside him. By user NewPassion4604, the Reddit user shared a screen grab of the moment and decided to share it. The screen grab very clearly shows the blunder and mistake, but user NewPassion4604 was not done. They also pointed out a less prevalent but interesting detail about one of the actors potentially breaking characters. Next, what's the blunder? To understand the mistake, let's first talk about how shows, especially ones like Outlander, are filmed meticulously and carefully, scene by scene, with close-ups of characters. This helps the audience relate to and understand the character better. Not to mention, the variety of camera angles used helps the plot to be expressed better. But sometimes, very rarely, even in shows like Outlander, a tiny mistake can be overlooked. Sometimes it's hard to record a scene without accidentally revealing another camera being used to shoot the same scene, perhaps from a different angle, and we suppose Outlander fell victim to exactly that. On the 25th of March, Reddit user NewPassion4604 posted a picture on the Outlander Reddit titled "Visible Crew Mistake on Outlander TV Show Season 6 Episode 1. The picture posted was a screen grab taken from one of the most tension-filled scenes of Episode 1. In typical Reddit style, the picture had two big red arrows to emphasize the observation made in the caption of the very same post. Up next, the scene. By the end of Season 6's first episode, the Christie family has made a place for themselves in Fraser's Ridge. But even the eldest Christie child, Alan Christie, found himself at odds with one of last season's most prominent antagonists, Richard Brown. Brown accuses Alan of stealing a precious gunpowder holder from him after one of his men had spotted it on the young boy. Once Alan confessed, Brown demanded that Alan be handed over to him to receive adequate punishment. But Jamie, as the owner of Fraser's Ridge, took over and claimed that he would deliver the punishment himself. The screen grab that the Reddit user used was of the scene that takes place right before Jamie flogs Alan publicly after being cornered into it by both Tom, Alan's father, and Richard Brown. The screen grab is of the scene that focuses on Jamie as he contemplates how to go about delivering the punishment. Behind him, Richard Brown and a blurry object of about the same height seem to be out of focus. Next, fake person and bonus observation. However, as Reddit user NewPassion4604 pointed out, there was no other person besides Richard Brown in the screenshot. Once you look closer, it's evident that the object is in fact a mounted camera. The original poster captioned his observation saying that at first they weren't sure and thought the mounted camera may be a tree or a branch, but after taking a look at some behind-the-scenes footage of Outlander, they saw that they use camera equipment that the series uses looks exactly like this other figure. But the Reddit user was not done. They also pointed out that besides the camera equipment, one can see the actor who plays Richard Brown breaking character. Chris Larkin, who plays the character, seems to be grinning in the blurred screen grab, which might be evidence of him breaking character. This is obvious because in the show, Richard Brown is clearly not smiling during the flogging, as it would not make sense with his character's motives. And it would make sense that Larkin assumed he wasn't on camera, since there is, after all, a whole mounted camera beside him. Now, the reaction. One Outlander fan replied to the post, claiming that they would have never caught that, and another wrote that as an editor themselves, they just knew that whoever had to use the footage was shaking their head. They claimed that in the industry of post-production, it unfortunately happens. Someone responded to them, continuing their conversation and saying that they saw the post and immediately felt sorry for the editor, who had to put the episode together because they saw it and thought, well, probably the best take. Someone also joked that unlike the Game of Thrones episodes, where Starbucks cups or water bottles could be seen mid-scene, the Outlander blunder was mostly unnoticeable. Now, it's important to mention that the user did not mean the observation to be a critique of how the show is filmed or produced. This is relevant because someone in the comments responded to the post saying that personally, they didn't mind the blunder and that production work is really hard. NewPassion4604 responded by claiming that they considered their observation to be just fun, and their post wasn't intended to be good or bad. It was completely neutral and nothing more. Now, in other related news, Sam Hugan explained Jamie wearing a kilt in Season 3. One of the most beloved parts of the show over the years has been Jamie's outfits. More specifically, specifically Jamie's kilts. But since kilts were outlawed by the Crown after the Battle of Culloden, Jamie had not been seen wearing one in her show in years. But in episode 3 of this season, many fans and viewers were pleasantly surprised when Sam Heughan showed up in a kilt. One fan in particular was curious, and they chose to ask their question directly to Sam Heughan and the Outlander Twitter account. Crystal asked, "I'm also curious. Why the return of the kilt? To go fishing?" At Sam Heughan, at Outlander Stars. Sam Heughan responded that it was still illegal to wear a kilt at the time, and the punishment for it would be huge. He claimed that Jamie couldn't risk it in the presence of the officers working for the Crown, especially when he's now potentially working for them. However, when he's alone on his own land with no risk, Jamie can reveal who he truly is, and that's why he wore his kilt. Everyone was of course curious and intrigued by the circumstances in which the beloved kilt had chosen to make a reappearance. But it seems as though no matter how much he's coerced into being loyal to the Crown, Jamie cannot be forced into forgetting his Scottish roots. Now, the Outlander prequel. Although Outlander hasn't yet reached its inevitable end, and in fact seems to be thriving right now, fans of the show have been gifted with an interesting announcement. A prequel has been confirmed by the Outlander team, and this is interesting because a show like that has been rumored for quite some time, but was only confirmed this February. According to the deadline, Outlander showrunner Matthew B. Roberts will also be working on the show, and will return to write and executive produce the prequel series. Both Ronald D. Moore and Meryl Davies, current executive producers on Outlander, will also return as executive producers on this new show. And although we may not have a lot of details about the new show, since it's been shrouded in mystery for quite some time now, fans of the show and the books know that Diana Gabaldon has written a lot of novellas and short stories that accompany the Outlander novels, if they aren't directly associated with them. But even so, only one of them is a prequel. The story Virgins is a novella that follows a 19-year-old Jamie Fraser as a mercenary in 18th century France. But that might not be it. In February, Diana Gabaldon, author of the series of work that the show is based on, also revealed that in addition to starting work on the 10th Outlander novel, which is predicted to be the last, she's also in the very early stages of writing and preparing a prequel book. The Facebook post Gabaldon made revealed that it would focus on Ellen Mackenzie, Jamie Fraser's mother. Now this would suggest that it's set well before Virgins even takes place. And as of right now, it's not clear if the prequel series will center on Ellen as a character journey, or would it chronicle her courtship with Jamie's father, Brian Fraser, and the birth of Jamie and her other children. So we suppose there's nothing to do but wait and find out. And that's all for this video. What do you think about the Outlander Blunder? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed watching the video, be sure to leave a like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications by pressing the bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.